Hey guys, what is up? It's BEN94z back again today with another Blender tutorial. Last tutorial I was showing you guys how to rig and weight paint your meshes in Blender. In this tutorial I'm going to show you guys how to pretty much like set up keyframes and animate, like get used to setting keyframes in Blender pretty much. I'll touch into like a few things, but I'm not going to show you guys how to actually animate. There'll be like a few links in the description directing you guys down into the right places for that sort of stuff. I don't have all day to explain how to animate to you guys, but I can show you how to, like, it's pretty much animating, but like it's not like animation, if you know what I'm saying. So like keyframing in Blender, you've got animation. Once you click over here and then click animation, it's gonna pop up with these things. This section here will show you like your curves, and this will be a dope sheet, pretty much showing you like every single action. You want to bring up the action editor though, and click new to create a new action. Man, there you go. Let's go I and set the, you've got a few options here actually. You want to deal with these ones. I think the visual is just to pretty much show, it's just all for show, but location, rotation, and scale. Then you got lock rot, which is location and rotation, and lock scale, which is location and scaling. And then you got all three into one, which you'll often use lock rot scale in Blender. So I've set my first keyframe, have I? And no, I don't think I have. Okay, let's shorten that down to 100. So this is your animation timeline, pretty sure that's what you call it. And you can go Alt-A on the keyboard just to let that run. And down here, you've got your frames per second. If you actually want to change up the speed, 24 FPS is usually pretty good for animation. I mean, pretty much anywhere above 8 frames per second is pretty much animated. Yeah. But there's a certain, there's certain numbers that you want to work with animation. 24 is a common one. So is 30, and so is that one even. Alright, so let's go I location on the first frame and move this to the end and go I location. Oh, would you look at that? We've got a curvy line like so. What could it mean? We've got 2 points here. Let's drop this down a bit. Okay, so now there's a location for the X, for the Z, and for the Y. The Y is the only one that changed, but I'm pretty sure with this stuff, in order for the computer to work it out properly, it's gonna have to store the values on every keyframe, otherwise it will just sort of get lost. So what we've got now, when I press Alt A, is I've got a cube sloping from, yeah. But do you notice something funny how this is moving? It's not exactly just automatically going from point A to point B. Well, it's got something to do with these curves over here. We got 2 handles here. I'll drop this down just so you know that there's red curves as well, and there's blue ones. So the blues for the Z, and the greens for the Y, and the X's for the red. Jeez, confusing myself here. This gets confusing really quickly. Okay, I've only done one simple animation. It's already confusing me. Okay, now we've got these 2 little handles here that we can manipulate with the right mouse button. And what I want to do is maybe make it sort of like slopes like that. Maybe so it looks like action. And I might slope that one out and press enter. And boom. Okay. Now, oops, Alt A. I'm gonna start a new file. When you like rotate something, I think it's mostly when you rotate something, you pretty much don't want to like go from keyframe to keyframe and then have like over 180 degrees of rotation. Otherwise, Blender's gonna be like, oh what? 180? And then it might even go from like, and it might flicker back and forth and do some real crazy stuff on your animation. So don't be bending the rules too much. Try and keep under like 180 degrees. Because if I went like set a keyframe here and then set a keyframe there, on the first keyframe it was 0 on the Z rotation, and then on the last one it was 360, it's not going to animate. It's just going to stick there. But if it went 299, it's going to animate to, if it went 259, it will animate to the 259, and then it will just like click over to the 360. But that's not how you want to do it. What you want to do if you want something smoothly rotating around in circles, or just to follow a circle, or a curve, is you actually want to add a curve and a circle. Well, for what I'm talking about, you can actually add your own custom path or visa. I think path, and go tab E. Yeah, see, I can press extrude and get this happening like a snake or something. Like, alrighty. So what I want to show you how to do is to apply that to get that spinning in that circular motion. So we select the cube object first, and then we select the Bezier circle, and then we, with the shift, and then we press Control P, and then what we want to click here is follow path. With the Bezier circle, it's got its own settings here, and it will show you how many frames it's actually working in. So that's only going to rotate 360 for the first 100 frames, and from there it's just going to do nothing. So we may as well cut that off there on this animation. You can draw it out if you want it to be slower, but that's a little bit boring. And we go Alt A, and now we've got a nice perfectly spinning cube. We don't even, that's not even visible in the render, this circle. But you know, you can use that for like a fan or a propeller or a chopper, something like that. Let me just see, like, let's go Alt P, clear parent, and let's click that cube and see if we can apply it to this path. Okay, because the it looks a little bit funny, but it's working fine. Oops, I just want that animation to stop. Okay, let's clear the parent. Wait, sorry. Alt P to clear the parent. And do you see how that's the middle point? Usually you want to keep things relative. That's why it went all funny. So let's select the curve, the abstract one, and go follow path. Ooh, look at that. I mean, it didn't match exactly, but you know, if you were to use the same 3D cursor point, then it probably would look a whole heap better. yeah, so you can sort of get those animations happening if you wish, but you know, usually when you want to work with a character or even something else is usually going to come with a rig. You're not going to be planting a bunch of funny looking shapes. So I actually tried to find you guys a character on the net, but I couldn't seem to find one, even with like going through proper Blender docs and stuff like that. Every file I picked up pretty much had like a problem with one of the bones somewhere, so I'm just using one of my own. Last tutorial I was talking to you guys about inverse kinematics. Well, there's actually IK in these legs. Ooh. But not the arms. And that's how I like it. Why would you want IK on the arms? Touch my body. Don't touch my body. Okay, I hope you like this tutorial. I hope this is... Hang on, I haven't explained everything. There's still more explaining to do. Okay. Okay. 100, let's set that to 100. We go into the animation part here. And let's go A to select all the bones in I and go scale, location, rotation, and scale. And let's also make... Well, what you can actually do with this is you can even go Control C, Control V, and G to grab like you normally would in Blender. It's a really handy trick. You can even just Alt right click and go Shift D if you just want to duplicate. That can often be useful if like you sort of just want to play with maybe like one or a few bones and keep the others locked in prey mantis, you know what I'm saying? Pretty bad posing there, but I'll get it. Yeah, you probably want the leg to be a bit twisted. Maybe force a kink in the leg a little. Yep. Oh damn. That's nasty. This is a really funny kick. I get a lot of enjoyment out of this stuff. I mean, come on. Alt R and just reset those bits. This needs to be on normal. That's my problem. Yeah. And I can play with the fingers if I wanted to, but don't have all day. Let's go A and I lock road scale. If you only want to rotate or scale or grab, that's fine. If you only need to do those, then don't worry about lock rod scaling. Let's go Alt A, and you can see he's kind of, yeah. I don't really like that, how he sort of just does that. Maybe I'll grab these. Huh. I'll probably just have to shorten the animation down. Oh. It's a really bad kick. Okay? But what we're seeing here is all these curves all like that's nothing. I'm moving like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm moving a lot of bones, but I'm only really getting a lot of movement on a few. And when you're looking at like a character or something that's animated in Blender, be prepared for the worst with this curve stuff, because it will take you all day if you're searching by eye. But you know, everything's labeled here, so you don't have to stress. So it's the heel we're worrying about. What about the rotation of the right heel? Well, the right heel's fine. What about the left? What about the left heel? There you go. And then I can open that and expand that out. What about the rotation though? What about the rotation of the X? And I can't even find it. There it is. Rotation. There it is. Is it there? I think I found it. I don't think there is any X rotation. Is there? Yeah, that's unnecessary. Okay. Wrong foot bone. Foot L. Let's down on the foot L. And yeah, the X. I'm just playing. If I was to be properly animating right now, it would not be like this. Ho, ho. Yeah, I'm just kind of demonstrating to you guys what the curves are about and what the keyframes are about. Not only that, go into the action editor. You want to click the F button if you actually want to save away your animations. Any one, and we can make a new animation. There's a bunch of stuff there, but you can make a new animation and call it Ani2. Make sure you got that F. You can save that. It's gonna be, I think it automatically makes it the same as the previous animation, but you can change the length of your Ani here. You can even delete the old animation and go to the first frame, go A, Alt R, Alt G, Alt S. He's back to normal. A, I, lock rot scale. Go to the last one, I, lock rot scale. Let's try and like screw him up as much as possible. And mid frame. What's going on? Okay, see how it is. I'm trying to make a funny pose, nice and quickly. Yeah, he's doing a nice stretch. I think that's yoga. Is that yoga? It's beyond me, that's for sure. Yeah. And I can go I and he's happy, okay? Just let him be happy. Alright, now I can save this, and what I can also do is toggle between my animations and even like revisit them. What's going on? Well, was that anyone? It doesn't look like anyone. Any two? Okay. Alt R. I. Oh my goodness. Okay, seems like anyone is back. For some weird reason it just comes back. And we've also got this one. Let's stop that animation, click the F. Let's call it yawn, it's close enough. Control S, make sure you keep your stuff saved away. Alt A, he's doing a yawn. Oh yeah. We've got the second messed up animation. Jeez, it's bringing a whole new meaning to the word flexible. Anyone making kicking sissy again. So I was showing you this because say you've got like a walk cycle happening, your character's walking along, you know, and you've got a good cycle happening from the beginning to the end, and you can sort of continue that cycle from left foot over the right foot, and say there's a scene where he's just walking, you can pretty much Control A, oops, no, not Control A, just A, and copy and paste the same very keyframes over. I think you might need all your bones selected when doing that. Yeah. So there may be other things happening in the scene, but your character's doing the loop because you copied and pasted it, the same keyframes over and over. It's not all about the keyframes. You really want to focus on these lines though. This is what will make your animation perfection. This is pretty much your starting point for getting the keyframes right, and all this stuff is researchable. I hope I've explained enough to try and keep this basic. It's not a very basic thing. It gets really messy really quickly when rigging and weight painting and animating, especially with these lines. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it made sense to you guys. There's going to be a few links down in the bottom if you actually want to get into animating and stuff like that. Stuff like 12 Principles of Animation, and a guy named Richard Williams. Yeah, I'll try and... I once picked up a PDF of his book for free, but I don't know if it was like the full copy or not. But the name of the book that you should pick up is the Animator's Survival Kit by Richard Williams, and that's basically, you know, a standard book for learning how to animate and stuff like that. There's also the Master 12 Principles of Animation. I can't think of them all off the top of my head. It's been so long since I went to school for this stuff, and you know, I'm not a professional animator, but a lot of professional animators do use Blender, and it's completely fine software to be using for animating. And you can actually export your character this way, so you can export as an FBX. So all those little animations you did can now go be exported this way. You want all selected objects. You can name your character, and you can import that into something like Unity or Unreal Engine with the animations. So it's pretty nice of Blender to do that. Open source, that's the way to go. Anyways guys, I'm signing out, and once again I hope you like this tutorial, and peace out.